We're scoreless after the first period of play here at the Spectrum between the Islanders and the Flyers, and our guest, Flyers winger Joey Paterson. And I would think, Joe, if we probably talked to you about February or March about you'd be in the Stanley Cup playoffs and playing a regular shift, you'd probably think we were crazy.
Yeah, it's after playing down at Hershey and that, and coming up here, I thought, yeah, you were crazy.
Must have a pretty good feeling, though, to sit down there. And I know Billy Barber was a big booster of yours. He said that you worked very hard and that you played probably some of your best hockey for him.
Yeah, Billy, he told me to shoot the puck a lot out there, and I got a lot of ice time. And before that, I would only get about 2 or 3 shots a game, and he told me to get my shot total up, and that's what I worked on doing when I was down there. And I got up around 5 or 6 shots, and the goals started to come when I was playing down there.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah,
shoot the puck, you score.
Yeah.
When you came up to the Flyers, was it anything different? Was it something that you had to sort of learn all over again, the system that Mike Keenan was using?
They had me up during the year for about 5 games there, and I think that was kind of, let me break in slowly, I guess you could say, and just get to feel the play out of it. And I know a couple of times out there I've been caught out of position and made the wrong play, and they've told me about it, and I've just tried to correct it and not make the same mistake twice out there.
That's one thing that I know coaches love to see, a player that listens and a player that wants to learn. And I'm interested in the fact that way back in September when you found out about the trade, what was going through your mind? I mean, it's pretty easy now that you were happy, but I mean, back then, were you excited about coming to Philadelphia?
Oh, yeah, I was definitely really excited. It's nice when a club as strong as Philadelphia wants you. And, I was really excited to come here, and it's a good organization.
What about the disappointment of going to Hershey? Was that something that you had a hard time swallowing?
Most of my career I've been up and down, and unfortunately I was sent down again, and it was something that I had learned to live with and just kind of get over the hump and get working down there, because there's no sense in sulking when you're down in the minors.
It appears that you've really improved on your game. Watching you play coming up from the Hershey after they were eliminated to where you played at the start of the year, I mean, Joe Patterson's not the same Joe Patterson that was playing out there in September.
Yeah, we had a bad season down Hershey, and the unfortunate thing was we went through 3 different coaches down there, and
right.
I tried to learn something from every coach, and I think it helped me out over the long run.
Confidence has to be a big factor, too. You saw that you could score goals, and you saw you could play, and somebody had confidence in you to play you.
Yeah, it's just one of those things, I guess you just got to keep plugging it.
You played in 3 games last year in the playoffs, the Stanley Cup playoffs, that is, with Detroit. What could you point out the difference between playing with Detroit in the playoffs as opposed to playing with the Flyers here, other than winning?
Well, I guess the thing was with Detroit last year, we didn't have home ice advantage to begin with, and I think home ice advantage is a big factor in the playoffs, and getting that first game in at home would have been a lot nicer last year instead of going on the road, whereas this year the team got to play at home first, and then sort of loosens them up a bit, and then going on the road it's not as hard.
I guess the feeling never changes, though, no matter what club you're playing for.
No, it doesn't.
Joe, thanks for being our guest.
Okay, thank you very much.
Joe Paterson, our guest, and he'll receive from Bostonian Shoes a gift certificate. Bostonian, they've been making men's footwear with uncompromising quality since 1899. You can find Bostonian at leading shoe stores such as Schuster Shoes, 170 West White Horse Pike in Berlin, New Jersey. Remember, you can score with Bostonian. Now for a look at the Phillies win this afternoon, plus all the sports news of the day. Let's go down now to Mark Zumoff in Prism Sports. Mark?
All right, thank you, Chief, and good evening to you. Welcome to our first look at Prism Sports tonight. A nerve-wracking, scoreless first period. Flyers and Islanders, Game 5 of the Patrick Division Finals. First period highlights and analysis from Bobby and Eddie later in this edition of Prism Sports. Last night, the intriguing Adams Division final between Montreal and Quebec took another interesting turn. The Nordiques going into the Forum and taking a 3-2 series lead over Canadians with a 5-1 victory. Here now a look at some of the key moments from that game, which was played last night at the Forum. Canadians on the power play. Larry Robinson, his third of the playoffs at 2:51 of the first period. Past Mario Gosselin, who otherwise was perfect last night, 1-0 Montreal. But the Nords come back to tie. Defenseman Brad Maxwell, the equalizer, past goaltender Steve Penny, who had his problems last night, at 11:14 of the first period. That's the way it ended, 1-1. Second period. Nords go up for good. Dale Hunter steals and scores. A goal and 2 assists for him last night, 2-1 Quebec. And then a release from the pressure cooker of the playoffs. A tete-a-tete between Quebec's Pat Price and Montreal's Chris Nyland. The Nords, though, win the important battle. Alain Lemieux converting at 16-19 of the second period. Quebec wins it 5-1. They have a 3-2 series lead, Game 6 at Quebec this coming Tuesday night.